Hey, how you going? I'm John.
And I'm Glenda.
We're brother and sister and business partners in JG Evolution. What we aim to do is to guide you back to your true self and your true potential, the you that was there before life started to kick you in the balls.
What we're going to do is interview each other and other people that have overcome some really extreme obstacles and found their own success, whatever that means to them. Our aim is to help you do the same.
Hello.
Right.
Okay, so I was thinking we would start at the beginning,
Yes.
being you're already in a relationship, married or not, I guess that's up to you. But I'm thinking, what point did you start to realise that there was issues in your relationship and possibly it was going to break down?
Yeah. It's really hard to pinpoint a sort of time, but it would have been a fair while before we separated.
Time as in what was happening in your life, not
Yeah,
specifically how many months or years, but at what point, what was happening and what was going on when, things started to break down.
I guess we got into the routine of things a long time before then. It just all blends into a long period of time. Like it's just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit consistently.
So that's interesting what you said though about routine.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Explain that a little bit more.
Well, I guess the usual scenario is you just start to take everything for granted and not give the other person what they need. Because you're just doing the life's routine and not actually making sure that you're giving them what they need.
So you would have been focused on, I assume, more on what you weren't getting yourself than what you should be giving? Were you quite aware of it? Were there things that you were feeling like you wanted?
Yeah, well, I definitely wasn't aware at that stage that I wasn't giving what I should have been giving. I guess if you're aware of it, then you're going to do better if you want to do better. So I definitely wasn't as aware of that as I am now, that's for sure. I don't know that I felt so much that I wasn't getting what I needed. I guess you just don't, if you're not aware, you don't give what you need to give the other person so that they're happy, so that they don't look for that stuff elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that flows over a long period of time. It just builds up until finally they just don't feel like, they're loved or whatever the case may be, because unintentionally or not, you're not giving them. And the other thing I've learned since, which is a big factor, is the love languages. That's, everybody should know about that stuff.
Yeah.
We can go into that if you want, but I think that's the important thing. That.
So was your ex-partner asking you for the things that she needed in any way other than behaviourally, but was she saying to you that she wanted more or needed more?
I don't think so, from memory.
Not that you noticed.
No. I'm not directly asking. She may have been asking in other ways that I didn't pick up on.
Yeah. So what was the point? I assume there was a point at some stage that you probably can pinpoint now where you just knew things were wrong.
The point where I decided that I was leaving?
Yeah, if that's what you want to talk about, yeah. Yeah. What brought you to that point?
Well, I mean, I decided for definite when I come home early from work and found her with another bloke in the bedroom and the kids in the other bedroom.
Yeah.
That's the point where I said, that's I'm definitely going. And then I hang around then for another few months because Christmas was coming up and things, and I didn't want to just leave on the spot. I kind of wanted to try and prepare the kids a little bit and things.
Yeah.
Whether that was a good decision or not, I'm not sure, but
yeah.
Leading up to that point, I had kind of decided on and off a bit, and then I'd change my mind again. Like we'd have those discussions, you know, like we're discussing it, and then she's like, oh, I want to, you know, I don't want this to happen. I want to keep my family and all those kind of things. And then, yeah, okay, let's give it a bit more time and see how we go. And yeah, that incident when I decided on the spot, that wasn't the first time, and so I'd kind of, you know, tried before. It's all right. Well, you know, you seem legit, like you want to, so I'll hang around and see how we go. And yeah, that last one was when I decided it was actually happening.
So before that point, was there, obviously you were having some discussion, was there a lot of arguing?
No, I don't think so. Not as much as more discussion, I'd call it. We didn't really fight.
What triggered that discussion?
Well, because I knew earlier that I wanted to leave.
Yep.
But I hadn't fully made up my mind.
Yep. So I guess that's partly what I'm digging at here too. What is it that had you thinking you wanted to leave? Was there other infidelity, or was it just a feeling that you had? Like, where was that coming from?
Yeah, so there was definitely other infidelity before I actually started thinking that was going to be the end. And back then I had no idea that any of that was my doing.
Yeah.
Same as lots of people, you just think the other person's doing something wrong and they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But yeah, since then, obviously too late for that relationship, but since then I realised that in one way or another, all of that is my doing.
Yeah. So how did you find out about the infidelity the first time?
There was a few times where I kind of just thought so, but didn't know.
Yeah.
And then there was one or two times when it was kind of admitted to after some argument and a fair bit of pushing and things like that. Which so I did know. And then the last time I actually walked in on it, that was the one where I actually decided, because it was real as it could be, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, the kids were there and that kind of thing as well, which
I
wasn't very happy about.
Yeah. So what did that feel like? Describe that. Describe that feeling of where you... So we're talking about before you understanding that you played a part in all of it as well.
At the time.
Yeah, at that time. How did that feel? What was that like?
That last moment where I decided that I was leaving?
Yeah.
So for me it wasn't really anger or any of that. For me it was more disappointment. And I just knew then that something had to change. I just didn't know what the outcome would be or where it would go or anything like that, but I just knew that what we were doing wasn't where I wanted to be. I'd say disappointed. At that time, disappointment was the main thing. And then obviously all the things that happened after that, there came a bunch of other emotions and things, but...
Yeah, walk me through some of those. What were some of the follow-up emotions?
When you're talking on down the track a little bit, where we were talking about, you know, working out custody with the kids and all that kind of stuff, when we got to the stage where it was a few months down the track and we were going through mediation and all those kinds of things, because our relationship end was a done deal, you know, as far as I was concerned then, completely a done deal, and we were dealing with the custody of the kids. And it went to, the main thing I felt during that time, that pretty long period, was, I guess, the helplessness of not having any control. Feeling that, you know, this has happened, I made the choice, but at the same time it wasn't my doing, which I thought at that time, you know, this wasn't my doing, I've just made the choice to not tolerate it anymore. And I was getting punished with, as far as the kids, you know, making it really hard to see them or seeing them on and off. But it was always a battle to see them, and it was always not pleasant when there was exchanges and all that kind of thing. And just having to jump through, to me, ridiculous hoops just to see the kids that I had to just agree to because I had no bargaining chips.
Yeah.
So I had no way of saying, well, no, I don't agree with that, or I don't think this is, because if I don't agree, I don't get to see the kids. That's it. There's no other options, because I had no bargaining chips at all, so I just had to go with whatever. So I'm spending weeks driving from Buston to Albany to have 2-hour supervised visits and all these things that I just had to agree to, because the other option was we don't come to any agreement and I just don't see the kids.
Yeah.
So there's just, for me and probably a lot of the men, there's just no control over any of it at all, because the only bargaining chip really is the kids. And if the woman's got the kids, then sadly a lot of the time they're used as that bargaining chip.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? They're used as a bargaining chip, but really they're not, and they shouldn't be.
They're used as it.
Yeah. So in that early stage when you first decided that you were leaving, did you, and I'm asking this more because you're a male, and this may vary for females, but was there any fear for you, fear of the unknown or fear of what would happen, or was it more of a confidence of stepping into whatever came your way?
Yeah, there definitely was some fear about the future and what would go on there from different angles, with new relationships and with the kids and all that kind of thing. But there was also a lot of I wouldn't say excitement, but a lot of positivity around a new start that I felt as well.
Yeah.
I was actually quite happy because I'd been in a place for so long, I suppose, where I didn't want to be. I was quite happy with the fact that I could start making my own choices and going where I wanted and doing what I wanted, more or less.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to involve the kids and things and everything, but it just happened to be that was made tough. But real mixture of, I think, more so that than being scared of the future.
Yeah, I just
I'm
asked
also
that
happy with the new
because
start,
it's an interesting point to point out that it's very different for men than it is for women.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of cases, women, especially women with children, feel the need for more security. There is a fear of, because in a lot of cases they might not be working, or certainly might not be working full time. They haven't got anywhere near the same basis when it comes to superannuation or wages, income. It's often the man that has a lot of the cards in his deck. So I think sometimes there's that. I've just, from observing people, seen that there's the men do tend towards more of that excitement at a fresh start and something new. But for a female, it's the situation is going to actually trigger a lot more defensive emotions and behaviours, because they're not just fighting for their family. It's actually a much bigger picture than that, particularly when it revolves around finances. And
that makes sense. I wasn't on a very big wage or anything, but I also knew that I could live very cheap if I was just more or less supporting myself.
Yeah.
So there was no real, and I've not been one for needing much, so there was no real issue as far as financial. Like, I'd be quite happy if I just board in a room somewhere, or I lived for 6 months in a tent in a caravan park once I moved out. And to me, that freedom was awesome.
Yeah, bit of exhilaration.
And I didn't have much money. But I had, I ate. I had a roof over my head. And to me, that was quite good. Different if you've got the kids with you, which a lot of the time the women would.
Yeah.
So there is some more financial pressure there.
Yeah. I think just having that knowledge too will help some men understand a little bit more. Not necessarily rightly, but why women sometimes take the actions that they do. That seem bad because someone's put them in a position that they are very much not comfortable with because of that insecurity. So payback, is the first call for some people.
And often the fear of new relationships and things as well is probably harder on some women because they've got the kids and things as well. So that really limits what they can do as far as meeting other people, and so that would be another aspect. More fear of being alone, possibly. Definitely not for all, but for some at least. So there's definitely things on both sides, and it's a shame. I think people just need to try and see more from the other person's perspective. Because there's pros and cons to both sides of these things happening. And if someone can look back and look at it from the other person's perspective, help them be more sympathetic to what they are going through. Which obviously then affects their actions and their everything around the whole situation.
Thanks heaps for listening. If you'd like to know more about what we do, or if you'd like to follow us, you can get more information at jgevolution.com, or you can follow us, Separated Dad's support page on Facebook.
If you'd like to find out more or follow me, you can check out my website at growingglenda.com, or find me on Facebook or Instagram at growingglenda. Please like and follow our pages and content. Help us reach as many people as possible with our stories of hope and encouragement. Until next time, keep learning and growing. Bye-bye.
Later.